Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sisters. We're on season 8, episode 10. They did give us 2 episodes this week, so the episode 11 is going to be right after this. So let's jump right into season 8, episode 10, entitled Forget Me Not. So we pick back up with Gary at Andy's penthouse, and he's begging for water because he's fresh from the gates, the pits of hell, right? And he tells Andy that he needed to see her, and that he hijacked, so to speak, a motorized bicycle from outside of the hospital. And she's like, well, how did you find me? Like, okay, this should be clue number 1 that this sucker ain't forgot everything or nothing at all, and he's pretending, right? Okay. And then, you know, he gets to yelling up in there like, I don't know. I'm like, he's pseudo freaking out. I don't know. I just needed to see you. You're the only person I can trust. How do you know that if you don't remember anything? Either way, you can see where she visibly jumps, because remember, she also has physical interactions with Gary, like where he damn near squeezed her to death in previous seasons, right? And so she tries to call the hospital, but he begs her not to do it. His demeanor calms down real quickly. He's like, please, 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 you're the only one I can trust. All of this is too much for me. And then she tells him that they were just trying to help, like the hospital staff were just trying to help him, and he needs to settle down and let them people help him. And he needs her help because, like I said, she's the only person that he can trust. Don't know how he would know that if he barely know who the hell she is. Whatever. And how did you know even if you remember me, how do you remember so much detail as to know that Hudson, you don't know that Hudson is your friend. You don't know that you gave him your power of attorney, but you know where my penthouse is. I don't know about that. Either way, she gets him some of Jordan's old clothes to put on, just so he can pull himself together. And then she rushes to call Hudson while he's changing to come get his ass while Gary was in the bathroom. Okay. Zach walks into the shop to see Karen. He was passing by her. He went that way to just check on the babies and make sure everything is okay. But there, Aaron is already there, kind of feeling some of the first kicks of the baby. Feeling the kicks for the first time. Let's just say that. And now Zach wants to kind of get in on some of that action. You can kind of see where he's a little bit jealous at first, but he's like, Karen, do you mind if let me get a little piece of that? The baby kicking action. That's what he's talking about. And so now they're going back and forth about who's baby daddy number 1, and Zach is pulling like a Ray J, like I hit it first. And they're doing all this while this lady is sitting here as if this is not insulting for y'all to be like, hey, I'm baby daddy number 1, you baby daddy number 2, I hit it first, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. Andy gets a call, and it's Robin. He's downstairs, and she's trying to like him and haw about him coming up there because you didn't tell me you were coming, so why are you just popping up at my penthouse, right? And he wants to know, like, oh, you got company? Like, who you up there entertaining? Like, sir, you crossing the attorney-client line a little bit. Anyway, she tells him, like, yeah, it's Gary. Gary stopped by. He wandered his way here. And Robin is like, well, how in the hell did that happen? So now he needs to come up and, I don't know if he's there to regulate or make sure she's safe. Don't know what his ultimate goal is, but he's going to come upstairs. Meanwhile, Fatima calls Karen to tell her, about the Rags to Riches contract. She's kind of pseudo over it, and she needs to know if her and Pam can come in to have a talk about it later on that evening. And Pam thinks it's a setup, and Karen is like, no, we've hashed things out for the most part. This is a business thing. We just need to talk. So we're gonna get into that later in the episode. Robin comes scrolling in off the elevator, like he walking with his hand in his pocket, like he just there to claim what's his, honestly. And of course, Gary keeps up the memory loss spiel and shakes Robin's hand as if it's nice to meet him for the very first time. However, you do see in the scene where he kind of gives a little slick side eye to Robin when everybody's back is turned, when there's a conversation happening between Andy and him. Strike 3 that you ain't got no damn memory loss. Anyway. So Robin and Andy are held up in the corner, not far out of earshot, having this conversation about why he's here and everything that's going on with Gary. And Robin ain't buying it like the rest of us are not buying it. And he's like, well, how can you not see that this man is playing you? And of course, Andy has fallen back into this damsel role. Now, granted, this started at the pushing, at the encouragement of Robin, but it kind of seems like she really is concerned about Gary and his well-being. Don't know why, but I don't know. I'm confused as to where she stands as well. And Gary turns around and tells him, he's like, y'all not gonna hear y'all, right? Like, this man ain't got no memory loss. I don't care what nobody say. Like, matter of fact, he did he have a brain injury? No, he didn't have a brain injury, so that's less than likely. Coming from somebody with no medical experience, child. I'm just talking trash. Either way, he got stabbed in the chest, child, and then he had a little bit of fentanyl poisoning. I don't know. Do that got something to do with your brain? Will fentanyl give you memory loss? Let me know if you're a medical professional in the comments. Either way, Zach and Fatima are talking, and he now has to tell her what he overheard about Tamara and Hayden and the footage as it relates to Gary and Tamara, and they think that that's going to put the agents on Hayden's trail if they can get to that footage and get it turned in. So it's a very good idea to kind of redirect the case. But by the end of this episode, we may not even need to do it because Penelope is a frazzled brain of a person. Either way, we'll get to it. Hudson finally shows up to come get Gary, and Gary's looking at him like, I'm not going nowhere with you, white boy. And he's refusing to go anywhere with him. And Gary starts getting irate. He's like, I ain't going nowhere with that man. Like, he's getting out of hand. He's getting beside himself. And then he starts acting dizzy. And here's Andy jumping in. He's like, everybody just calm down. We're overwhelming him. Shut up. She pissed me off in this scene, right? And she's trying to talk to him very calm and quietly, and she's like, well, let's just make a deal. Let's just make a deal. If you go back to the hospital with Hudson, I promise I'll come down there to see you a little bit later. And so that she makes a deal for him to go back, and she'll come see him, and that seems to work for him. Now, again, if you don't know Hudson from a can of paint, what in your mind tells you, in your memory loss, that he's going to safely get you from Andy's apartment to the hospital. You have no recollection of who this man is, and why would you trust him? Strike 4. You ain't got no damn memory loss. Anyway, and then she does this little secret pinky promise kiss combo crap that they did when they were head over heels in love, and he magically remembers to do his portion of the secret handshake, right? The little lover's handshake. Strike 5. This sucker don't got no memory loss. I'm sorry, y'all. It's pissing me off. He don't got no memory loss. And so we'll deal with that. All right, so Karen and Pam, they're at the meeting with Fatima, and she tells them that the contract looks pretty straightforward. And they were worried that Miss Willis was trying to back out of the deal, and she gives them the solace like, no, she wasn't trying to back out of the deal. She just wanted to make sure everything was good to go. Everything looks good, and she tells them just look forward, that everybody's looking forward to the future of rags to riches, essentially. And then Hayden rose in mid-meeting trying to stunt his little bit of power, and he tells Karen that all is not well. He's going to make a recommendation. He has some reservations about the partnership, and it's not a good look for the global brand that is Miss Marie Willis, and that he plans to recommend that she pull the investment. And Fatima is sitting there because she's dumbfounded. She's like, you told me to hold the meeting. He was like, no, I told you to set the meeting up. I'm running this meeting. Like she didn't just give these people the confidence that they were good to move forward. And he comes in there and attempts to undo everything she just told him. And so Fatima tells him like, hey, step outside for a sec. Sorry, guys. Don't get upset just yet. Hey, meet me in the hallway. And so she asked him to go outside, and she's like, do you have any idea how Miss Marie is going to react to you treating her partners this way? And he thinks she'll be excited because he's recommended that she drops the hood rats because it's not going to be good for her brand. And Fatima reminds him, like, you have no idea who Miss Willis is. She used to be one of said hood rats, as you call them. And so were the members of her 70s or 80s girls group. That is why a lot of her early songs, a lot of her early music is about being a single parent and the struggles that come along with living in the hood, quote unquote, right? And it's obvious that you have no idea who Miss Marie Willis is and how personal this project is to her and how much she believes in these girls. So she's not going to appreciate it. And he thinks that he could change her mind, but his countenance has softened, and he softens his approach, and he's willing to change his recommendation to align with what Fatima says. But of course, he cannot be man enough to go back in there and be like, hey, I might have messed up in the last encounter, but I'm not going to go in there and tell them that I'm going to recommend that she stays in partnership with Miss Willis. You'll just be the point of contact. You get to run play on this case, essentially. So he's handing it out to Fatima, which is going to work out in Fatima and Pam's favor anyway, because who wants to deal with Hayden regularly anyway? So now we got that crisis averted. Even though I think he would have, even if he had made his recommendation to Miss Willis, which he had already attempted to do earlier, she would have told him, sir, mind your business. Like, I already told you that I'm investing with them, and this is a passion. She already told him it was a passion project, so it wouldn't have made no difference. But just to not even go through all that, we're glad that he changed his mind. Okay, so Fatima gets to go back and tell the girls that Hayden has changed his mind about the recommendation. And Karen stays back to talk to Fatima a little bit more. And she just needed to thank her personally, and also remind Karen that she's going to let Karen, and Fatima's also going to let Karen know personally that she's going to be the point of contact for the contract. And Karen, and she asked Karen, like, is that going to be okay? Like, is that going to be an issue? And Karen's like, no, I am more than happy to be working with you, and I'm excited about the future of Rags to Riches. Again, thank you, and I appreciate everything. Okay, Robin is getting the impression that Andy still feels something in her shondo for Gary, and he's upset about it. Andy reminds him, like, she breaks this whole damsel in distress thing for a few moments, and she's like, no, I'm not falling for Gary's crap, and I'm also not falling for yours. And he's looking like, well, what did I do? And so she confronts him about everything that's been happening at the firm, and him giving her caseload to Hayden, and him basically trying to backdoor her. And she reminds him, like, listen, I don't need you to save me from Gary or from nobody else for that matter. I'm good. Thank you for what you did up to this point, but I'm not the charity case. I'm not the damsel that is in distress that needs Robin's help. And that confirms to me he's the one that poked Gary up, right? Which is why Gary's probably acting like he don't remember. Even though if you really want to get him out of here, point him out as the man that did it so we can go ahead and wrap this shit up. Either way, and tells him that confirms to me that he probably did that so that she can come running back into his arms. And what I want to input right here is Andy must got that double Whopper, no pickles, extra onion, extra mayo with a slice of bacon. Like, she must got that she got that fire on her. Like, you would stab the competition so that she would come running back into your arms. She got something on her. That's all I'm saying. Either way, she does tell him, like, hey, I'm coming back to work so that I can reclaim what's rightfully mine. Now, the damage may be done, but we'll talk about that in episode 11. Either way, that's season 8, episode 10. Let me know what y'all think about the episode. I think we may have one more after episode 11, and everything will probably be wrapped up. I know that there's a January episode coming out, so we're probably not going to have many for the holidays. Either way, let me know what y'all think about the episode. I'm going to get episode 11 up right after this. So like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.